And welcome back. It's still Rapid Dawn. I hope you enjoyed Eastern Circle. And we are back to the other side where we get to have a conversation. I did tell you that we're going to be having a guest in the studio. And of course, we do have them. They are present here. Did you know that tomorrow, 27th, is actually World Tourism Day? And there's actually a very beautiful, sweet theme, for this year's Tourism Day. And so this morning, we have our guests talking about things regarding the tourism sector, where we as a country, investment opportunities in the area of tourism, the theme for this year, and everything in between. So I do have our guests. I'll start with Michael. Mbaike.
Thank you. Michael Mbaike.
Mbaike. And I also have Ike Marus Obinali. Obinali.
Yes, Obinali.
Okay, great. Good to have you guys on the show this
Thank
morning.
you. Thank you.
All right, so let's just go right into it. Tourism. When people think about tourism, they first of all think about going to a beautiful destination where they get to take sleigh pictures, wear bikini and the likes. But what is tourism to you as people who are part of the Nigerian, Association of Tour Operators? What is tourism to you?
You see, thank you very much, by the way, for having us here. So when you ask me the question of tourism, I will be coming from three lenses. As an economist, as a development person, and I might be bringing a perspective that is more like a thought leader perspective.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to challenge the authorities that have done very well and giving us scholastic rendition on what tourism is. For me, tourism is life. Taking pictures and all of those that you just cited is just one insignificant part. It's just part of it. It's life. It's all we do. It's we you. Many times, it's seen as a sector, like among several other sectors. But I also want to say something that it's okay when you list tourism amongst every other sector. Okay. However, for me, tourism is not just one of the sectors amongst others. Tourism is that sector that connects every other sector, that ensures that every other sector can run. For me, tourism is what you try to call as economics. Because there is no tourism, there's no movement, there's so many things. In a brief nutshell, tourism is life. It's everything that we do.
Okay. Now I feel like I should have been in tourism long before now. Okay, let's go to you, Mr. Ike Myers. How do you think that we've fared so far as a country when it comes to the area of tourism? I mean, look at us.
Anyway, for Nigeria as a country, we are very far to tourism as a business. And I believe that, but we get there.
Sure.
But the only thing is that government has to be committed if they really want Nigeria to be heard. Although Nigeria is way ahead by all other countries because of the things we do, but not in tourism aspect. If we compare ourselves with Dubai, we see that there's a very big gap. There was a time Dubai was like a desert. And they're even coming to Nigeria to seek for an assistant and all that. But today, see what Dubai has become. When you talk about tourism, we'll be talking about investment. We'll be talking about so many other things which comes in. Just like as my colleague has just said, tourism is life. It's also help in health. Tourism helps in health. It makes one to be stable. You can't walk and overload yourself with work. You work small. You will have some leisure stuff and also come back to work. So, but for Nigeria, we need to do a lot. A lot has to be done in Nigeria. And we have the sector that's working on that, doing all the best we can to see that we bring Nigeria to the limelight. But all the same, with time, I will say, we will get it. But we have so many challenges we need to tackle.
What are these challenges?
So
Let's just mention 6.
Whoa.
Among the so many, okay, let's just mention three.
Okay, okay. At least, when you talk about tourism, you'll be talking about transport. You'll also be talking about security.
Yes.
And you're also talking about cooperation. Do you understand? The cooperation, I mean, the sanity of people, the education even. Because as a tourist, you're expected to be welcomed.
True.
So, because when you go and see how the destination is like, you will go and tell another person, wow, this place is this place is this. It will be marketing itself. Yes, it's marketing himself. So just like I will use Dubai as an example. When Dubai, I will say, was streaming, also it's still streaming today anyway. The people will go and come back, wow, this place is this, that's wonderful. It's just, hey, are you serious? I will go there. Even people are even using it as something that they want to experience this place. Just like yesterday, I was with a client. I was discussing something, telling him about Cuba, and he was talking about going where some mentioned some people have gone, and he want to. I said no, go to Supil because you know why? As a Nigerian, tourism is money, and as a Nigerian, really typical Nigerian, they want why you're taking that pleasure. They also want to use one or two things to kill. You understand?
To make more money, at least as you're
Also,
spending.
so that they want to get their money back. Why they are going for tourism, they're also expecting to come back with something in return. You understand? At least something that can help them, pull back or recall back the money they have spent.
But is it supposed to be like that when you're going for tourism? It's okay, I want to go on vacation, and maybe I want to travel to where? Okay, I want to go to Tanzania, for example, for vacation. Am I supposed to think of what I can get back aside from the feeling of rest, exploration, excitement? Am I supposed to be thinking of, oh, I've spent so much money,
No.
let me get like $2,000 back?
If you do a quick Google search to what the UN says today's team, the World Tourism Team, Tourism
Yes.
and Peace,
Tourism and
if you quickly read, after two lines of, they go to the economics of things. Don't forget I said, I'll be coming from the lens of economics and development. What you call tourism, for me, is economy. And let me tell you what I mean before I go to your question. I said if you put all the sectors side by side and you put tourism, you're okay, you're not bad. That's what the scholastic education has provided us for identification. However, when you come to practice and decoding what's really playing out, you will see that what you are trying to call economics is what I call tourism. Because tourism is what is bringing everything together and making it work. Now you are saying, am I supposed to be getting something back? It's the economics of things, particularly our own kind of travelers. We are largely an economic migrant kind of people. We travel for economic reasons. I was going to cross from Canada to the US. I was going to apply for a visa. I was on the line with a couple of other people that are not Nigerians. My application pack was so different from people that I was together with on the line. It is because for me to get that US visa, the question, they are trying to justify my economic reason for traveling. But the other folks are not being asked those questions. What I'm trying to say is that
Is it a Nigerian problem?
it's a Nigerian problem.
Okay,
It's
so we
our
have a problem
context. It's a
now.
context. See, and even what you say is tourism, I call it experience industry. What we create is experience. So what's our everyday life? Like right now, we are saddled with economic issues. Generally, when we interface global conversation or global issues like tourism, we are going to be interfacing from our own lens.
What can we get from
What
here?
can we get? So the guy is punching his calculator. I'm going to spend almost 2 million naira on flight. I'm going to buy a couple of experiences. What am I getting back? So that's why travels and tourism and all this conversation will take a different twist when we discuss it. But for some of us that are in the practice, and for some of us that have the benefit of not only selling travel to people, but have also actually traveled, we have a different mindset. That's why my colleague is saying education. But education is not going to be passed through schooling. It's going to be passed by actually selling the experience. For one travel that the guy goes and come back, there's an education. For the next travel, there's another education, and that's the transition phase. At the end of the day, you're looking at a guy that is not just a local, but has become a global citizen.
I think traveling is the most efficient way to learn.
There's a proverb in my village. There's a proverb in my village. I'm translating it. The guy that's traveled is more educated than the guy that read book.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Very correct.
Because-
Very correct. Yeah. I think it also helps you to relate with people more because you learn different culture, different tradition, you see different people. And so when somebody in where you are is exhibiting some traits, you're like,
South Africa. Immediately I arrived in South Africa and coming to the city, man, I saw the way everywhere was. Nobody, I don't expect anybody to tell me that South Africa has hooligans than the saints. Nobody. You don't need to tell me. By looking at the way, why I'm saying this is actually for you to understand how this location operates, the mindset of people and what their belief is like, the norms and all that. Do you know South Africa in the morning you will see a lot of people who will be outside doing nothing. Just circle, smoking, all those kind of things. You know.
oh, why we are rushing to enter Molo to work?
You see,
When you travel, you get to redefine things.
yeah.
Let me pick a simple example. When you travel, you get to define neighbor. What does neighbor mean to the Nigerian guy? In fact, in Nigeria, what the neighbor means to the guy living in Ajegule is different from what neighbor is to the guy living in elite, exclusive places. The same twist. When you travel, you interface people from other culture, from other lifestyle, from other strata. You begin to get a clearer picture of certain things that you have long defined in a certain way. Just like social media today is redefining things. Today, your neighbor is no longer the guy next door. Your neighbor can be somebody in China. In business, your competitor may not necessarily be the guy next door. If you are in clothing, a part of tourism, your neighbor is already shopping from a store from China. He's jumping you to go and shop from somebody from China. So my point is, when you travel and engage tourism, you begin to redefine. That's why I say it is life. When you go around, you still come back to this simple understanding. Tourism is life. What we are doing here is tourism. What's happening here is tourism. What that guy is doing there is tourism. Everything around you is tourism.
All right. As we get set to wrap the conversation up, let's now talk briefly about the National Nigeria Association of Tour Operators. Some person might say, do we even have an association like that? What are they really doing for us? What has been their contribution? It's almost like their own is just to make money for their pockets and their life. So let's now look at this because, forgive me, we hear so many associations. So even in the government, we hear so many ministries, departments, and you tend to ask yourself, what's in this one that they do? What did they do for us? Okay, let me say they do, but what did they do for us?
Okay.
So let's now talk about your association.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to make sure that the average person benefits a thing or two?
Great. Who are we and what do we do? NATOP, Association of Tour Operators. Mind you, there are...
Because people have been frustrating a lot of people.
How?
But continue.
I'll get back to you on that. Now, Association of Tour Operators. Mind you, there is an association of travel agents. That's a different...
Now,
that's tour operators, we are this group of professionals interested in selling Nigeria. Interested in selling Nigeria as a destination. What we want to do in a nutshell is to get people traveling into the country, get Nigerians to travel around Nigeria. How many countries have you? How many states have you gone to in Nigeria?
A lot of states,
Great.
trust me.
Your job already takes you far. But there are a lot of people, even in Abuja, that has not gone to. So that's what we're doing, number one. Secondly, get foreigners to come in. When this travel happens, you're asking, oh, what are we going to be? What are we doing? Foreign
Okay,
exchange.
you give me the money?
No, foreign exchange is coming to the economy.
Okay.
People bring in money to come and spend. Locals can travel around there and spend money. So as an association, this is who we are and what we do. We are selling Nigeria. Now, you said, what have we done? How have we benefited? You might not have known what we are doing is because of the culture of travel anyway. I can ask you, you are more likely to travel to Dubai than to travel to East. So part of the advocacy and the development, which is already beginning from here, at least I'm shifting your thinking already, is that you will begin to travel. Now, when you want to travel, say, look, I can show you destinations in Nigeria that you'll be amazed.
There's this at home,
Sorry?
on Mondays.
Okay, let's
go
away from East.
Okay.
There are destinations in Nigeria. You'll be amazed at that. They'll give you the same experience that you go there.
True.
Great locations. Great. In fact, if you go to our hashtag, NatUp hashtag, you see what we are doing already presently. We are doing a different. See, to the extent at which the government is understanding what we're doing, is the extent to which we get creative. Because at the end of the tourism will require political will.
Okay, let me just in 1-2 minutes, right? Our time is going so fast in 1-2 minutes. Now, you're talking about all of these beautiful things that you can do for the Nigerian people and those coming in from outside to say, okay, these are the things we have here in Nigeria. Nigeria can also be a tourism destination. You can visit this place in Kano State. You can visit this place in Adamawa. You can go to this place in Cross River and the likes. Beautiful. But can that be achieved if the situation of insecurity is not handled? Because, I mean, that is a challenge for you.
Security is security is an issue everywhere in the world.
Okay.
It remains an issue that will constantly be there. It's an ongoing concern. What we are going to be experiencing around the world is different levels and manifestations of insecurity. With that said, insecurity or security is also integral into life itself. So we are going to be able to tell our story, our tourism within the way. That's why we in the association, we are not deciding to, we are still doing what we are doing because we know that irrespective of the security concern, there is still tourism. Now, security is a government issue.
Tourism is a personal issue.
Tourism, curbing security, it should even be applauding us for deciding to have an organized association to even do this, considering the challenges. So it shows you how we are thinking. We are saying that irrespective of what we don't have, there is tourism in what we don't have. And when we get better with security, a manifestation, a new kind of manifestation. For example, if you are going to talk to Jos, for example, a place where we think there's large insecurity, the experience will integrate the security paraphernalia. When it gets better, we'll create...
Bro, we are not integrating anything associated to insecurity.
No, my point is this. This is my point. This is my point.
Okay.
Insecurity as it is, do people not go to Jos? Have you seen any day there's no car going to Jos?
No.
We regard, okay, Kaduna, have you heard that because of insecurity, nobody traveled to Kaduna?
No.
Each of those persons in that vehicle is engaging tourism without knowing it. But where we come in as tourism professionals is that this time we can decide to curate that experience and say, okay, hey, you want an experience? Let me give you destination Kaduna.
you provide security, like convoy security?
No, that's what I said there. Within our security concern,